Are you unsure as to which content types you should be choosing for your online course and if the ones that you have selected are even right for your students? It's a very valid question. So let's have a look at some advice on what you should do and what you should not do when you are choosing your content types for your online course. Let's start with what not to do. So we all have our preferences in how we prefer to consume content. Now that is a preference. So if I prefer to read, to watch a video, to listen to a podcast, that's my preference. It doesn't necessarily mean that I'm going to learn what I need to learn for that course or for that lesson. So let me give you an example. I currently decided that I wanted to cook a cheesecake. Well, I wanted to make a cheesecake from scratch, not a cooked one, but a fresh one. And I kind of had an idea of what goes into it because, well, I've eaten a lot of cheesecake, but I've also made a lot of tarts or a lot of cakes like this before. So I knew what had to go into it, and I was just looking for the right balance of ingredients. I knew I didn't want gelatin, and I knew that I didn't want lemon. I knew that I wanted to beat cream cheese and beat cream or beat the two together. I knew that's what I wanted. So I was looking for a recipe to find the right recipe. And I was scanning so many websites. I was looking through so many videos and just scanning through them. I was able to skip through chapters and YouTube videos. And what I'm trying to get at here is that because I have the experience of cooking these before, I didn't need in-depth instructions. I didn't need an in-depth video because I had all of this experience that I was bringing into the situation. Now, I love cooking, but that doesn't mean that every single thing that I do in cooking that I know about it because I've got experience. So let me give you another example. Recently, I've decided that I wanted to cook sourdough, so I'm making the sourdough mother. This is something I have never done. Now, I've heard about it. I know that you have to keep it alive. I know that you can put it in the fridge. I don't know when. So these are all just things that I've heard, but I've never ever done it before. So I couldn't do the same thing. I couldn't scan through websites. I couldn't scan through pictures or scan through videos. I had to watch a video from the beginning until the end. And maybe I had to watch it several times. I had to read text thoroughly. I had to listen to instructions thoroughly. Why? Because I had no experience that I was bringing to the table. So now that I've given you those examples of what not to do, what we don't want to do is have a look at a student's preference on how they prefer to consume content and then build our course around that, because it's not taking into account their past experience and it's not helping them get from A to B, so their past experience to the course goal. So what should you do instead? Well, it might seem obvious that you need to understand what their past experience is. And how do you do that? I have videos on looking at direct and indirect feedback. I'll pop them in the description below so you can have a look over that. Most importantly, what you should be looking at is not how they prefer content, but what experience they have. And you can get this through direct and indirect feedback. So I'm not going to go through the whole video. I'll put that in the link below. But briefly, these are things such as goal-setting activities at the beginning of the course, where students are telling you what they want to achieve, what they have tried, where they've coming from, right? It doesn't even seem like they're giving you feedback. They're setting goals for themselves. You can do this through quizzes and understanding if students have understood the concept. You can do this through assessment, seeing if people have grasped the skills that they need, right? And you can also do this by asking them directly, what's your current experience? What have you tried so far? So for example, if you were building a course that spoke about building Facebook ads, you need to know where your students' current experience level is. And this is not only for content types. This is also for when you're building your course goal, your learning outcomes and your competencies, which I'll pop a video down below that talks about course curriculums and how important it is to know who our students are. But for your course content, it's important to know their past experience. For example, what happens if all of your students or majority of your students have a basic understanding of Facebook ads and now they're looking for something more intermediate? But your course content focuses on a student that is in the advanced side of Facebook ads. or is in the basic and they don't actually learn anything, right? So it's really important that you understand what your current experience level is of your students and what they're looking to achieve so that you can identify what are the right content types. So now that I've given you all those little examples, how do you actually select the right course content type? Let me give you another example. Let's use that Facebook ads example. Let's say that I am building a course and it's a basic introduction into Facebook ads. And the assumption is that my students have no experience in Facebook ads. So I might lean more towards thorough instructions that may have written steps or checklist steps that say step 1, step 2, step 3. I might also ensure that I have content types that talk about what are the benefits of Facebook ads. Why should you do them? Why should you not do them? I might also have case studies that talk about positive outcomes of Facebook ads. Right? And so I'm going through the benefits of Facebook, a brief introduction into how to build them, and then step-by-step instructions. I'm not going into any advanced settings. I'm not doing anything that's, I guess, outside of their experience level or outside of their league, for lack of a better word. So making sure that I select the right content types that point towards the current experience level of my students is vital in selecting the right content types that will help my students. What you should not do is just build a course on your students' preference because they prefer to watch a video. At the end of the day, a short clip video that only has your face and doesn't actually have any of your screens or step-by-step instructions might not help your students. So the advice to take today is to understand what your students' experience level is and then start to build content type that speaks directly to their experience level. Each week I do post videos here on my YouTube channel all about course creation. So if you have any questions about course creation, if you would like to see something demonstrated, or if you'd like to know how my sourdough mother is going, let me know in the comments below and I'll be happy to answer them and happy to build a video for you as well. Until next time, happy course creating.